Jesus and his friends were walking and talking one day. The friend said to Jesus,
I have a question. This man has been blind since he was born. Now, was it because his parents did something bad that he was born like that?
No, God doesn't punish people by making their children blind. But I tell you what, this man's blindness, God can use it to show how powerful he is.
And with that, Jesus walked over to the man. He knelt down. He spat on the ground. He made a little mud out of the dirt and spit, and he rubbed it onto the blind man's eyes. It was very messy.
Now go and wash your eyes, and you will be blind no more.
The man washed his face, just as Jesus said. And when he shook the water from his hair and opened his eyes, he could see. Lots of people gathered around the man, asking him lots of questions.
We have a question. Aren't you the blind man who usually begs for food?
I am. Then how can you see? Well, I don't know, but I met a man and he rubbed some mud on my eyes and told me to wash it off. And now I can see. Wow, it's amazing.
I can't believe that. Who's this man?
The crowd was amazed. They were ready to cheer, but then someone else spoke up.
Excuse me, I have a question too.
This someone was a religious teacher who didn't much like Jesus. Why? Because Jesus was too popular and didn't always agree with what the other teachers said.
Jesus healed you today?
Yes, that's right.
Well, today is the day of rest, the special day that God did himself set aside. The day on which no one is allowed to work. But healing is work, surely. So how can this Jesus be on God's side if he breaks God's law?
Well, I don't know, but I can see now.
Because a bad man made you well.
Wait, how can a bad man do a thing like that?
That's what I'd like to know.
And they asked the man who used to be blind all kinds of questions.
So were you really blind?
Were you pretending?
Well, who is this Jesus anyway?
It was too much for the man who used to be blind.
Listen, I don't know the answers to all your questions, but I do know this. Once I was blind, and now I can see. Who but someone sent by God could do something like this?
A little later, as the man was sitting by himself, Jesus came to see him.
I know it's been a hard day, but I have a question too. Do you believe that God sent me? I do! I really do! Then no more questions.
And that is the end of our very surprising story.